Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a dense forest, lived a man named Thomas and his loyal dog, Max. Max was a large golden retriever with a heart as golden as his fur. Thomas had raised Max from a pup, and they were inseparable companions. Thomas was a woodworker by trade, known in the village for his intricate carvings and beautiful furniture. However, his shop was at the far end of the village, and he often had to traverse a narrow path through the woods to get there. The path was usually safe, but the villagers warned of wild animals and the occasional harsh weather that could make the journey treacherous. One winter's evening, after finishing a particularly intricate piece, Thomas started his walk back home. The snow began to fall heavily, quickly covering the ground and obscuring the path. Thomas, confident in his knowledge of the woods, pressed on. However, as the snow thickened, he lost his way. Hours passed, and Thomas found himself in the heart of the forest with no idea which direction led home. The cold was biting, and exhaustion began to set in. He knew he had to find shelter or risk succumbing to the freezing temperatures. Back at the village, Max sensed something was wrong. He paced restlessly by the door, whining and scratching to get out. Finally, he barked urgently at the neighbors until they understood something was amiss. Realizing Thomas had not returned, a search party was quickly formed, but the snow made it difficult for the villagers to track Thomas. Max, however, had an unshakable bond with Thomas. Trusting his instincts, he bolted into the woods, guided by an invisible thread of loyalty and love. He followed Thomas's scent, undeterred by the cold and snow. After hours of running, Max found Thomas huddled beneath a tree, shivering and weak. Thomas, barely conscious, felt a warm nose nuzzle his cheek and opened his eyes to see Max standing over him, wagging his tail furiously. Max barked and licked Thomas's face, urging him to stay awake. With renewed hope, Thomas clung to Max, who led him through the snow. Max's sturdy frame and relentless spirit provided Thomas the strength he needed to keep moving. Finally, as dawn broke, Max guided Thomas back to the edge of the village, where the search party found them. The villagers rejoiced and quickly brought Thomas inside, wrapping him in warm blankets and giving him hot broth. Thomas recovered from his ordeal, thanks to Max's unwavering devotion. He knew he owed his life to his faithful dog, whose love and loyalty had guided him through the darkest night. From that day on, the bond between Thomas and Max was stronger than ever, a testament to the incredible power of the bond between humans and their canine companions. The village, too, never forgot the heroism of Max, the golden retriever who had braved the winter woods to save his best friend. And so, Max was celebrated and cherished, not just by Thomas, but by the entire village, as a true hero.